Let's start with the question nobody wanted to ask when it happened. When Derek Shepherd died on Grey's Anatomy, fans were devastated. McDreamy was gone, murder was over, and the grief felt real. But here's the harder question. If Derek had never gotten into that car accident, if he had made it home, if he were still alive today, would he and Meredith actually be happy? Not nostalgic, not romanticized, happy. Because loving someone and being compatible long-term are not the same thing. And when we strip away tragedy, we're left with patterns. We remember the ferry boats, the candle house, the pick me, choose me, love me speech, the post-it wedding vows. But memory at its conflict, it edits resentment, it edits ego. Let's go back to Washington, D.C. Derek gets the presidential brain mapping project, career-defining, massive honor. He assumes Meredith will go. He frames it as our opportunity. But really, it was his. When Meredith hesitates, tension builds. When she chooses her career, resentment simmers. That wasn't a one-time disagreement. It was a pattern. Derek struggled when Meredith didn't orbit him. Now imagine Derek survives. The DC issue doesn't disappear. He either resents her rising career, she resents sacrificing hers, or long-distance strain grows. None of those scream effortless happiness. Now let's talk about Meredith's evolution. After Derek's death, Meredith didn't collapse. She expanded. She became confident, established, award-winning, less emotionally dependent. Would she have grown this boldly if Derek were alive? Or would she still be negotiating herself smaller? Derek loved Meredith deeply, but he also loved admiration. He struggled when she challenged him professionally. If Meredith became the hospital's brightest star, would Derek celebrate that long term? Or would competition creep in? They were two alphas. Two alphas can work, but only if ego is managed. Was Derek good at surrendering ego? Sometimes, not always. Now add children. Zola, Bailey, Ellis. Derek adored his kids, but he also chased legacy. When legacy conflicts with family, Derek historically leaned toward ambition. Would that change? Maybe. But patterns matter. Meredith and Derek were trauma bonded. Her abandonment issues, his savior complex. Trauma bonding creates intensity. But intensity does not guarantee stability. If Meredith healed, would she still need Derek the same way? And if she didn't need him, would that destabilize him? Let's fast forward 10 years. Meredith is confident, established, no longer seeking validation. Derek is brilliant, respected, possibly semi-retired from peak neurosurgery. Would they be mentoring together, quietly resentful, emotionally distant, still passionately in love? The most realistic answer isn't fairy tale bliss. It's negotiated happiness. With friction, with ego management, with periodic explosions. Derek's death froze him in perfection. He never had to age beside Meredith's rising legacy. He never had to adjust to her surpassing him. Death romanticizes. It protects a love story from collapse. Would they still love each other? Absolutely. Would they still be passionate? Yes. Would they be consistently happy? That depends on one question. Could Derek truly celebrate Meredith without needing to lead her? If yes, they survive. If no, resentment builds. Maybe the better question is, would Meredith be the version of herself we see today if Derek were still alive? Sometimes loss is the catalyst for growth. Sometimes happiness requires space. So I'll ask you, if Derek Shepherd had survived, would murder still be thriving? Or would the fairy tale have quietly unraveled? Because on Grey's Anatomy, love is never just love. It's evolution. And evolution changes everything.